Okay, we're talking about motivation. How many are motivated to be selling? Okay, so this is still loading, but in motivation, there is what we call intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. So, intrinsic motivation, it involves doing something because it's personally rewarding. It's got something to do with you as a person, right? And then we've got extrinsic, right? This is motivation, which involves something that you want to earn as a reward. You're doing it because there's a reward to it, right? So we're going to talk about passion. Passion comes from within, right? We all know that passion is something that it's not anything that comes from anyone to say, oh no, if you're passionate about this, I'll pay you for your passion. Passion is something that is actually broken down by one's inner self, right? So the moment you do something with passion, you earn results, personal results. So I'm getting to her organization because I've understood what she does. Like, she's into B&B, right? And I could tell that she's passionate about it because I need to matrix to anoita to make it happen. It simply means she's motivated because she's passionate about it. She's moved from company to company with the same vibe, with the same energy, which means her deliverable until she dies is going to be on top of the situation because she's motivated, ne passion, for that thing. And then we move on to morning prayer. So I'm just going to run through it so that at least we get everything. Morning prayer. You know, there are companies that believe that prayer brings us together, right? So usually people that say we pray before we start work, it's something that they are passionate about. I've actually never heard of a company that forces people to pray in the morning. But because you're passionate about the product you're selling, you're passionate about the work that you're doing, you believe that putting God first before you start your job or before you start any execution should be led by prayer. This is not something that is rewarding. It can never be that your boss is going to pay you more because you guys have said, oh, we want to start with the prayer, so we're going to get commission. No. This is something that is within. Confirm? And then we talk about good relations with your colleagues, which makes work easier. Do you know there are some individuals that make sure there are some individuals like that. Especially those jobs that have processes, right? One. And guess what? You all fail because someone just decided to say, I do not want to make this person successful in whatever execution that they've been asked to do. I've worked in industries where people are like that. You work with a designer who will make sure that they will not give you the design at the approved time. They'll give you the next day. Client yako yatama. Guess what? Your client doesn't phone the designer. The client phones you. You understand? So it becomes very difficult for you to start talking about, it's not me. It's not me. Definitely it's not you. It's the other person. So what are we saying? Good relations with your colleagues makes work easier. You have discovered that your workmate has got such a problem. You're forced to make relationships with that person. You know what they like. Some of these people, they like booze, right? They like beer. After work, take them for drinks. Tomorrow morning, guess what? You will find your work on your table. because you've just added that extra thing to that person who last night I was boozing with this guy. They can't afford to let you down. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you realize, Kuti, you need to know each and every person in your organization. Oh, this one likes this one likes that, so that the time you need them, they will actually be ready to run for you. And then we talk about good relationship with your employer and transparency. This helps you not to fear them, but work together to have mutual benefit from the relationship. Do you know that some people say, oh, the boss is very hard, oh, the boss is this, the boss is that. But have you softened your boss to be a better person? Has your boss understood your problems? Right? What we're talking about is creating the relationship. Relationships just don't come. You don't just say, my boss is like this. No. You need to actually create a relationship that makes you know your boss. Because sometimes you're thinking, my boss is arrogant, my boss is this, my boss is that. But have you actually found time to make him a better person? Because sometimes these bosses, they're humans as well. They may not even know that this is how they're behaving in front of their staff. So it's very important that you also make time, make the effort to understand your boss and have a relationship. I remember my boss, I used to have a boss that used to think, okay, that people used to think, this boss is so hard, he's so, but I just said to myself, I want to be someone who's successful in this organization. And the only way I can be like that is to create relationships with my boss. So that client, oh, no. In the end of office, not boss, this person anamari, right? How can we work it out? The next thing is, okay, fine, I'll just do a discount. And then you tell the rest of the salespeople that, oh, imagine I was given a discount. And they'll be like, you were given a discount? How? Relationship, because my boss already knows that I want to win. You know what I mean? And then we go to extrinsic motivation factors. We talk about remuneration. A lot of people are complaining about remuneration. People are crying right now because of remuneration. But it is a motivation factor, unfortunately. And some people are actually just working because they just want the money. We talk about a good working environment which produces good energy. There are some people who work in organizations that have got no resources, because when you talk about a good working environment, we're also talking about the resources that you're using. I mean, some companies, they're talking about salespeople, but salespeople that do not even have a laptop that they take home. They're talking about an environment where they use one bathroom, but it's 20. These are little things that make a good working environment, right? There's some people that are working in organizations that don't even have chairs to sit on during lunch, because you don't want to be sitting on your same workstation during lunch, right? Or maybe you're not even allowed to sit in front of your laptop during lunch, but there's no sitting area outside, so you're forced to eat whilst standing. Can we say that is motivating? Are you motivated to go to that workplace every day? It's draining to even think about, because it's just lunchtime, maybe it's the time that you're recuperating, that you're just being yourself. The next thing, can we say that it's a good working environment that has been created? I don't think so. And then we talk about good communication. This is good communication both ways. This is between the employer, the employee, and amongst all of the employees, right? Good communication. Are you communicating using the right methods? We talk about emails. There's some information that is disseminated in the organization. Kune pay cut zvataurwa kuofisi yanhingi saka tangozi tingokuudzai. It happens in some organizations where information is disseminated in a terrible way. So good communication is very, very important, especially from employer to employees. which is also the same as employees to employer, because some people think that employees are not allowed to talk to the employer or to communicate something to the employer. They communicate it within themselves, and yet it's something that is very important and needs to be communicated to the employer. We talk about good communication, which is very vital and which is encouraged. What does this do? It motivates us as individuals in the organization. Then we talk of team building. Team building is something organizations do not want to hear about. Many organizations, they're not even making the initiative to have team building for their teams. But what does team building do? Team building brings people together. What does team building do? It motivates the people. Do you know, Kuti, sometimes during team building, that's when you discover other personalities. Emunu. But I thought Kuda hard. I thought Kuda is arrogant. I thought Kuda this, but put her in a different environment, doing things that are outside work, you begin to discover different things about a person. So team building, I would really want to encourage you to also encourage your employers to set it up. And team building doesn't mean you need to travel far away, number one. Team building doesn't mean you need to have fancy stuff. Team building, like Coach Tuff is a team builder, right? You just call him to say, we've got this budget, right? What can we do with it? We just want something to bring the workers together. There's a package for everyone. So let's not take for granted getting to know each other. Let's not take it for granted to build as teams, because this is just what makes an organization. I ran through it, but I'm praying that you've understood the backbone of motivation.